most everyone's heard the expression, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. And to me that just says, don't count on something you don't have. Don't count your chickens before they hatch is another one. And I bet you back in the Old West they had another one that said, a shot in the hand is worth six in the saddlebags. And so back in the Old West days, I guess there was a lot of gun control. At some point they didn't allow sidearms into the pubs, the taverns, whatever they call them, taverns, bars, because people would get drunk and shoot each other, and anyway, that was bad for business. People would get angry, playing a game of cards or whatever, get angry and be unhappy with losing or whatever, and they'd want to shoot someone. Anyway, there was a lot of violence back in the day, and I can see why having something like this that was small enough to be concealable and hidden away, I can see why this would have been popular. Plus it was very inexpensive. So this is a derringer. They call it a best pocket derringer. Derringers are a small, small caliber handgun, not a revolver, not a semi-automatic. So when I saw this, I thought, wow, that is a pretty little replica handgun. All brass construction, single shot, 31 caliber, and it's less than a 2-inch barrel, and it's not rifled. Percussion cap ignition, okay, in there, and yeah, I thought very pretty. But to be honest, I thought it was going to be a bit of a joke as far as actually using this even back in the Old West, actually using that as a self-defense weapon. I thought it was going to be more of a deterrent than an actual, a man-stopper. What people are looking for now is something that's strong enough to stop someone attacking them. And honestly, I didn't think this would do it. I thought it was more a deterrent. You don't want to get, back then the medicine was so bad that you didn't want to get shot by even a little bullet, even, because you'd probably die of infection and other complications because the medicine was so bad. So yeah, I didn't think this was a serious firearm, but I was wrong. It is amazing how much power this actually gets out of a less than 2-inch barrel and small ball, tiny charge of powder. And it was quite impressive. They do say, and I think this is key to getting good performance out of these, they said in the instructions, do not use a wad over the ball. So what we do in some of our other muzzleloaders, will use a wad, and they actually say not to do that with this. And I think that's because you need that extra barrel friction of that ball being tightly into the barrel to get the performance you need out of it. And that's just my opinion on that, but they do say it in the instructions not to use a wad. Okay, so I'm gonna have a couple of shots, see if I can hit the target. So I'll be shooting at 5 meters, trying to hit something about 2 inches across, and we'll see how we go with that, and then I'll show you how I load it. Okay, so that's what I'll be aiming at. at 5 meters. And I think that's going to be pretty hard for me to do, considering it's a very small gun and unrifled barrel, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm just going to try. I tried this before, and the sight is pretty ordinary. But I found if I just aim straight down the barrel, it's not too bad. Okay, that was a hit. Half cock. Okay. Actually says in the instructions I'm supposed to leave that a minute before I reload it, so I will do that. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a close-up of the loading. Make sure you don't have a cap in there. Okay, close that up. In the manual it says to use from 5 to 10 grains of powder, and so I'm using 10 grains. So the sprue of the ball where it's cut, make sure that's up at the top there. Now, like I said, I don't have the proper bullet starters. What they are, they're kind of like a round ball with a little piece to start it, and then a longer ramrod. So this is the way I do it. It's actually hard to do this and show you at the same time. Important that the ramrod it's important that the ball is seated on the powder and that you are only using black powder. Okay, so I've got the ball seated, and then I just got to open this up again to put the cap on. And that's ready to go. Okay, so the only shot that really penetrated was right on that edge there, and that was because it was on the edge, so I didn't, that's still kind of impressive out of such a small gun. Number 2 that I hit, down here. About that far into the wood. And, same deal up here. That far into the wood. So, this is all subjective, but to me it seems like that's got more than enough power for point-blank self-defense, if that's all you had. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick loading of this thing as well. Honestly, I don't know what it is. It says Corsair. Anyway, it says Corsair, made in Italy. Picked it up secondhand from a guy, and first I didn't like it. This is the handle, the old style handle. This curve here felt kind of weird, but I got used to it. Now it's a lot of fun. So I'm in the sunlight. So what I'm using there is about 30 grains of black powder. One thing, you have to be really careful with these double barrels that you don't overcharge. A barrel. It'll be very easy to, I've turned this around a couple of times by now. It'll be very easy to forget which barrel you put the first charge in and put another charge in that. So that's something you've got to be really careful with. Now this one, it does work well with wads. In fact, when I was plinking around with this, I was using, it's a 44 caliber, but I was using 36 caliber. I think I was using 2 wads on it, and it was still shooting pretty good. Anyway, but for the best performance, and I load this the same way as the jam them down, and then the ramrod. Oh, I dropped my ramrod. Now I make sure they're firmly seated. That one's firmly seated. Place the ramrod. Now I'll actually, this is just me, but I'll throw a tiny little bit of grease down the bore, such as that. Ready to go. Well, apart from the cap. That's still. Yep. So, and then to put the caps, you can bring that back to half cock. There. Okay. Okay, that one's ready to fire as well. So I'm just going to do a quick firing of these two. They're both loaded. One's 44 caliber, one's 31. This has actually got a really heavy hammer. So triggers, right hand side hammer goes to the front trigger. Rear trigger. That's got a nice blast to it. Alright, so with the little 31, I shot kind of on top of another hole and penetrated about as far. Now the 44 caliber with those round balls, you know, from that larger, much longer barrel, and didn't really penetrate much further. So obviously it's a much bigger hole, but it didn't penetrate a whole lot further than that little round ball. I'm going to pull those out of the wood and see what they look like. Alright, so about to do some pine board ballistics tests. It actually didn't deform too bad. There's one. This might be the easiest 31 to get out. Oops, I think I hit the ball a little bit. So, well, you know what, I could have done that when I was ramming it in. It seems like there's more deformation with the smaller ball, but I might have done that with the ramrod. It's sort of still good on that side, same with that. But yeah, anyway, 44 didn't necessarily penetrate any further. Maybe a little bit. There's one on the side. Oh no, that's the 2. Remember I told you I hit the 31, little derringer. There was one where the one bullet overshot the other one, and that's the 2 31 bullets in there.